Hey everybody, Chad Taylor here. Today we're going to be critiquing a video from Jared Polin. And those of you guys that don't know, he has a very popular YouTube channel basically dedicated to photography and video, but more specifically photography. And if you're interested in photography, I strongly recommend you check out his channel. I've learned a lot from him. And the video we're going to get into from him is from yesterday. So this is a critique of his video. It's called I'm Going to Mars, How NASA Builds Rockets for Space Exploration. Came out September 8th, 2018. Today's September 9th, 2018. The reason I'm picking this video is he has done the best job I've seen of going into where they're building the rockets and taking photo and video. His has the best quality that I've seen by far. So I want to use his video, and I really want to critique this. Not his skills per se, because he is far better than me. I like photography and video stuff, but he is far better than I am. So I'm not critiquing that. I'm critiquing other things. So let's get started here.
This building
this is
big.
Jared.
I'm in Louisiana. I'm at the Michoud Rocket Factory where they build rockets for NASA. This building behind me is part of a 43-acre building that is all under one roof.
This reminds me of Boeing up in Everett, by the way. If you go take a tour of Boeing, they have a huge building as well. Just fantastic to see. The kind of ingenuity people have is just incredible.
Huge. It is massive. There's a lot of stuff going on inside. They are building the rockets that will send people to the moon and beyond.
Remember this video here. Remember this part of the video. How it's curving like this. Watch.
Talking about little baby rockets here. We're talking about massive, big rockets that are going to take people really far.
No,
and by far,
not going to happen.
I mean like distant planets and stuff like Mars.
Okay, I do want to say right here. So when it comes to his photo work, when it comes to his video work, he is phenomenal. When it comes to this subject, he's dead wrong on this. Those rockets are not going to haul anybody anywhere, ever. And it's just not going to happen. They're not. This whole notion about throwing people aboard a rocket, shooting them off into space, and finding some other planet, landing on it, it's science fiction. It is not reality. It is not true. It is not possible to do that. It is absolutely not possible. So no, he is wrong about that. He's right about all the photo, video stuff. Absolutely, he's wrong about this.
Everywhere I go here, there's a rocket scientist, which is cool. So I get to talk to a lot of interesting.
And so this is where it gets into, well, so that means, if that's true, Chad, that these two gentlemen here, for instance, are in on this big elaborate conspiracy. Well, no, they are not. No, they absolutely do not have to be. These two gentlemen here, for instance, along with everybody else that works there that we're going to see in this thing, none of them have to be in on this. These guys right here are probably some incredibly hard-working men that have done just amazing things in their life, have done just awesome schooling, are very intelligent, extremely good at what they do, probably have great families, and they're just very dedicated to what they're doing, and they think that what they are building is going to a place when in reality it's not going and will never go to where they think it's going to go.
People, I get to learn some information. It's just really great to have the opportunity to be here at a NASA rocket facility where they build the rockets. I never thought I'd be able to go do something like that. So my goals here, try to tell a photo story if I can. Certain things are off limits, can't get photos of everything, can't shoot video of most things, but really going into this facility and seeing what is being created, seeing how they take sections of metal and titanium and put all this stuff together to create what goes.
See, and this is what I'm talking about with this photo work. It's just, I've never seen photos like this, of NASA, and what they're building and all that kind of stuff, and the rockets. And so this guy is very, very good at what he does with photo video work.
Goes into space, the time, the effort, the brain power, the sheer production that goes into this is really incredible.
Yeah, and I would agree with that the amount of time and effort that all these people put into building these things is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. But they're not serving the purpose they think they are.
All right, guys, NASA. First place we get to go to is the amazing room with the amazing leather chairs. Look at these things. Are these NASA inspired or designed? Ooh, let's check it out.
Outside of the Heathrow.
Oh, okay. Sometimes I'm surprised. Like,
Mike, how's your chair?
Pretty comfy.
I'll ask you, does it compare to you?
See the gal in the background with the NASA shirt on? Let me just okay. See this? I'm in the Seattle area, so I see people all the time with NASA shirts on. You know, you go out, it's very common to see people, maybe not every day, but maybe every other day, every 3 days, I'll run into people wearing NASA shirts and stuff. If you don't really understand what's really going on, it's a very prideful thing. It's just like a good, patriotic thing. You know, NASA, we can be proud of this government organization that is just helping expand humanity, when in reality it's not. It's doing the opposite.
Facility that is 43 acres of air conditioning.
So let's try to fill up the front, and then my escort folks.
Where's the front?
Right up here.
I want to be in the front.
Come on to the front.
I've just been told I'm not allowed to film now.
You're good now.
I'm good now. So just punch me whenever.
Yeah, it's just remembered this too. If I remember right, a couple of years ago, check me on this, but I want to say it was 2016 that there was a memo coming out around you couldn't say, was it say Jesus at NASA? It's something like that. Hang on a second. I'm going to fact check myself here. Can't say Jesus at NASA. NASA bans the word Jesus. Fox News. NASA bans the word Jesus. The name of Jesus is not welcome in the Johnson Space Center newsletter, according to a complaint filed on behalf of a group of Christians who work for NASA.
And we had the largest repair shop in the southeastern United States.
So right now I'm in the model room, and what is cool about this is that it shows the entire model.
So you can say any
of the
other
43
deity,
acres
false
under
deity, you
one
can't say Jesus.
roof. There's a lot of different companies in here. You've got NASA, of course. You've got some Boeing areas. But this is a scale that it's 1/100th. So I believe like 1/8 of an inch is a foot or something along those lines. But this thing is massive and huge. Just think about that. 43 acres under one roof. So we're going to get a tour of this place. Allowed to shoot some things, not allowed to shoot some other things because you don't want to let some of those secrets and designs out. But this is fascinating stuff. This is the model of the model room where we are standing right now.
Yeah, see, I think it's amazing amount of work that has gone into this, and time and effort. And I mean, can't even imagine the amount of dollars that would have been spent on this. Mind-boggling amounts of money. To do what? That's the key. Why? What is the purpose of all this? Getting to that. It ain't what you think it is. It's not going to go find another planet to land on and save us from this global warming that we've done to ourselves and go search for blah, blah, blah. It's none of that. It is incredible what they built, though. You can't argue with that. All this stuff is just incredible what people have built.
This is where we get to go to 0G. They're gonna turn this into a vacuum room, and then we're gonna float. It's not true.
That reminds me too. Look into the subject of spacesuits and 100% vacuum, or 99.9% vacuum, or 99% vacuum. Look for vacuum testing of spacesuits. It's an interesting subject, and you'll never find anything about it because it's never been tested. Why is that the spacesuits can go to 100% vacuum in space and they'll be fine on their moonwalks, but there's never been a test done and no footage of a test with anything remotely like that. They test them underwater to pressure pushing inward, but not 100% vacuum pulling outward. See, he's got just some amazing photography. I think this is the new Canon that just came out, by the way, that looks really awesome.
the domes that go on top of the barrels. It takes 5 barrels to make a fuel tank. I got it right. They're going to be massive.
But look at that fuel tank.
They are huge.
Look at the size of that, and look how much work goes into that. To me, it's amazing and also disgusting at the same time, because all of those people that are building these things and have such pride in their work and just have gone through just immense amount of schooling, and they're experts. These people that do all this are absolute experts at what they do. I have no doubt they're the best of the best. And to know that what is happening and how this waste of dollars, the waste of all the fuel, thousands of gallons of, rocket fuel, just a super huge waste just to deceive you.
It's actually extremely fascinating to be
It
here.
is.
You guys should look up as much information as you can about these facilities, because it's really amazing to see what work goes into making this stuff, the time that it takes, the technology that it takes, and the manpower. The made here. People made this stuff. It's pretty incredible.
It is. I'll agree. It's incredible. It's incredibly deceptive at the same time. This is the kind of stuff you don't see normally, and I can really appreciate the type of photo work that he does and bringing us this kind of stuff.
Look at that print job on that thing. 160 feet up. Warning, if you're afraid of heights, skip past this section. We're 160 feet up. Check this out. This is what it looks like.
It's crazy
That is
engineering.
super high up.
Like this dude here, man. Well, everybody'd have to be in on it. Even the people building. No, I'll bet you this dude right here is just a great family man, just providing for his family, and has worked his butt off to get to where he's at. I'll bet you he's just a great dude. He's doing his job. He's doing whatever his, task is, whatever he's building. Probably something to do with welding, if I had to guess, but that's a total guess. But, so no, this dude doesn't have to have anything to do with what's really going on. I'm sure he doesn't. So, no, it's not like everybody. There's a fraction of a percentage of people that would have to be in on it. Same with this guy. This could be my dad. This could be your dad. I'm sure he's a hardworking dude, probably close to retirement, worked his butt off for decades here, and he's probably extremely good at what he does, I'm sure, or he wouldn't be here. And so, no, this guy's probably just a hardworking, patriotic American, providing for his family. Little does he know where the rockets that he's helping build actually go. I'd be willing to bet you almost anything this guy has no idea. Yep.
I'm here on a stage at NASA giving a speech about Space Force 107. It's going to be taking volunteers, so comments down below. Are you volunteering for Space Force, NASA?
That's another thing, too, is
it's
Space
right there,
Force.
look.
That's a whole nother
On
subject.
stage.
I actually have a video about Space Force. Here, let me pull it up real quick. Donald Trump Space Force. If you're interested in that, there's that. I'll provide a link down below. Here's my channel, obviously. But there's a video regarding Space Force.
There's a NASA logo behind me. I'm the next to go into space. The bathroom actually is the space I'm going into, but okay, I gotta go do that. Look, they even have NASA symbols on the soap. This is special soap. This is NASA.
By the way, side note, I'm pretty sure this is the new Canon EOS R. Full frame mirrorless. Very, very nice camera. Like $2,300, I think, something like that. Just came out.
Now we're at the most secured and most important part of the NASA facility here. It is the basketball court. Yay, we can play. Don't get in her photo. We're in the basketball court of the NASA's. Look, there's a basket. There's a three-point line that looks really short. And then there's the NASA logo right here. Guys, we're going to fly around NASA.
But why is it Why is it that we see and we just feel that, NASA is part of the United States government, part of the Department of Defense, if I remember right. Why is it that is it because there's scientists, so many scientists involved, that we give them a free pass and we think of them as just these gentle whatever? I mean, right now, do you watching this, do you believe everything the United States government says? Do you? From every branch, do you believe that? Do you believe everything 100%? I certainly don't. I'm willing to bet you don't either. But why is it that when it comes to NASA and scientists have found this? Well, who's the scientist that found that? Scientists have discovered this. Is it when a scientist, quote unquote, a scientist has discovered this, it's gospel. It is 100% irrefutable at that point. Is that what it is? Why is it that we look at NASA and it's just like we give them a pass? I was 12 years old when Apollo 13 came out. I remember watching Tom Hanks fly around the moon and going, oh man, I wish we could have made it down there. I remember that. It was very pressing on my brain as a young 12-year-old. Is that why? Have we grown up and seen these things? And if you're older, you've seen the land on the moon, in 1969? That's why? There's something to it that we cling to because it's just this deep root in us? Why is it? I don't know. Look at that fisheye.
You ready? Can I get in there on that?
By the way, if you're wondering, I shoot RAW. It's RAW file sizes. So the RAW photos, for instance, when you take a RAW photo, so we took all these in the RAW, what they do is it captures a huge amount of data, and then you can bring it into post. And so a lot of the functions that you would normally be baked into the photo, they're not. So you can actually adjust certain things after the fact if you take RAW photos, but they're huge file sizes. So I always shoot RAW also, but they're very large file sizes. That's what his shirt means. That must be in the fuel tank, huh?
Guys, this is a NASA space trash can. Look at that movement. Do you know how many years it took to get this movement right? 2 years. I'm wearing my NASA-approved space glasses. Look at the shape and form of these glasses. They are very protective from the top, not so much from the bottom, more from the side and the side. Space glasses.
Yeah, just great photography. But yeah, if you look into this, if you look into each of these, images with Apollo and Orion and all the blah, 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 just how occultish these are. I wonder, no, it's just a hole there looking through. But it's blurry because of the depth of fields. So in focus, out of focus. Anyway, moving on. Just great photo work, man. This guy is very good. The camera's really good too. So yeah, so these dudes, I'm sure they're just great, hardworking Americans. Because I've heard other people say, well, Chad, my such and such friend works at NASA, or I have an uncle or a friend that works at NASA. They're not in on this and they're not in on that. Of course not. Of course they're not. These guys aren't either. These guys are experts at what they do. They're building things that take off and fly somewhere. That's all they know. They don't control where they go. But they built something and helped build something that goes and flies off.
How tall are we? 170 feet? We just traversed to the highest parts of this facility, and man, is it perilous. I think we're walking on things from like the 1950s, like grates that bounce when you walk on them, and there's holes in certain places. It's pretty interesting exploring this up here. We're all the way up top. Seeing everything from up here is insane. You don't get the scale until you take a couple of pictures or look out over the edge, but it's interesting walking through the dark, crawling through these different holes, well, openings that are doors, until you finally get to the top and the center portions. Oh my God, it's hot up here too. So I don't even know how high we are, but this is pretty cool.
Seen this time lapse that he did here? That's
Guys, you'll never believe who I ran into. It's my biggest fan at NASA.
I don't think I saw that part when I watched this earlier. That's funny. I love the guy's sense of humor.
I'm funny. I'm really funny.
That is funny. Like I said, this looks like the same guy from earlier. You know, this could be your dad. This could be my dad. This could be our friend. I'm sure some of you watching this know somebody at NASA. No, your friend is not in on it. You know, your friend is probably a hardworking, dedicated employee of NASA, and is probably extremely good at what he does, or she does. Got to be PC these days. But no, they don't have to be in on it. They make something that goes up, whether it's a satellite that they think goes up, whether it's some rocket, whether it's whatever. They don't have to be in on it.
So the well-rounded story that I was going for is the people, the machines. Unfortunately, we don't get to see the final product, the actual full-on rockets, but seeing some of the space.
Keep in mind, right here, this reminds me, when you see anything from NASA, you see anything from space, how much of it is computer graphics? Really keep in mind how much we see as computer graphics.
The Orion, which is the capsule that the astronauts will be in when they...
No, they won't be. They won't be. He's an expert when it comes to photo stuff. I don't claim to be an expert on the subject, but he's wrong on this. No, there will not be astronauts that fly anywhere in those capsules. Period. So computer graphics.
They go into space and
Obviously
when they
computer
splash
graphics.
down...
Obviously computer graphics. Nobody's arguing and trying to say this is real, but they're just showing what it would be like. Type in Earth, look at photos. And they're all CGI. All the ones that you see from quote-unquote space, they're all CGI. Why is that?
Into the ocean, being able to see that these are the actual things that are going to go into space.
No, they won't. No, they won't. So we're going to go here. Here's another YouTube video, Orion, Trial by Fire. This is from NASA. And this is actually on the NASA's website as well. I don't know if this is like an official NASA, but this video is on NASA's website. So, Trial by Fire, Orion, Trial by Fire. So what he's talking about is the newest, latest generation of space flight, right?
My name is Kelly Smith, and I work on navigation and guidance for Orion. Orion is NASA's next-generation spacecraft. Built with versatility in mind, it can take astronauts deeper into space
No, they won't.
than we've ever gone before.
Nope.
To an asteroid, or even to Mars.
Nope.
For these missions, Orion has to be one tough spacecraft.
No, it doesn't.
Withstanding high speeds, searing temperatures, and extreme radiation.
It has to withstand high speeds long enough to land on ice. That's all. I'll explain in a minute.
For Orion's first flight, no astronauts will be aboard. The spacecraft
No astronauts are ever on board.
is loaded with sensors to record and measure all aspects of the flight in every detail. It all begins with launch aboard a Delta IV Heavy.
Delta IV Heavy. Sounds heavy. No one's doubting that those things don't fly. Oh, it's kind of nice flying right in front of the moon. I'm sure that was not an accident. No one's doubting that these things don't fly somewhere. Can't argue that. The destination is the problem that I have and that millions of other people are waking up to. The destination is the question. Huh. That's a good title for a song.
As the spacecraft and the upper stage begin their first
watch
lap
this.
around Earth,
Oh, pay attention to this. As they begin their first lap around Earth.
Mission Control in Houston is monitoring the progress of the flight.
Now these guys, well, these guys would have to be in on it. I think, you know, the photos you see of Mission Control and people like this, and I don't think they have to be either. I could be wrong, but I really don't think they have to be either. I'll explain why.
Orion's over 100 miles up and going about 17,000 miles per hour. Just as it passes over the Indian
Watch
Ocean,
this.
we lose communication.
Okay, whoa, hang on a second. So as the rocket goes over the Indian Ocean, they lose contact of a multi-billion-dollar rocket. They lose contact of the latest, greatest technology, even though we supposedly have satellites and GPS and all this latest, greatest technology. Somehow they lose contact. Why? I'm sure all the NASA fanboys would have some reason. Why is it always that they lose contact of the latest, greatest feat of human engineering? How is it possible? This is where they would take over. As soon as it flies over, it loses contact. All that would have to happen is everybody expects to lose contact. So then all the people there at Mission Control that we just saw, all they would have to do is go, okay, yep, we expect to lose contact. Oh, we just lost contact. Let's sit here and wait, let's wait for it to come back on. And at that point, whoever they really are, whoever the real people involved are, would take over at that point. Then at that point, the people at Mission Control would just have to be flying whatever they think they're flying, but it's all computer stuff. They have no idea what's really going on, but they could be adjusting and this and that. So all it would have to happen is a computer program would take over, and they're flying a computer program wherever they think it's going, but they're not flying the actual thing because the actual rocket is going somewhere else, but they have no control over it at that point. Somebody else does, or it's pre-programmed where it's going to go. Even the Mission Control people wouldn't have to be involved in this. They're certainly sitting there thinking that they're doing something and the rocket's going somewhere, but it's just ones and zeros that they're sending somewhere, and the program is reacting to whatever they're doing. But in reality, the real rocket has crashed down on ice thousands of miles away, never to be seen from again. Yeah, see, like these guys wouldn't even have to be in on it.
This is expected. The communications link we have through satellites to Orion is momentarily lost.
Why?
But Orion continues
Why? Tell me why.
to receive and process data. Its computers can handle 480 million instructions per second. Imagine you are traveling with Orion as the flight test continues. One orbit completed.
And why is it orbiting the Earth? Why does it go up and turn sideways and orbit the Earth? Why can't it go straight?
Time to go. The upper stage of the rocket fires again. Like the setup for a roller coaster ride, this is the big climb we've been waiting for. We are headed 3,600 miles above Earth. 15 times higher from the planet than the International Space Station.
Not a planet.
As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts.
Keep this in mind. The Van Allen belts.
Area of dangerous radiation.
Okay, so the Van Allen belts are an area of dangerous radiation.
Radiation like this could harm the guidance systems, onboard computers, or other electronics on Orion. Naturally, we have to pass through this danger zone twice. Once up and once back. But Orion has protection. Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation.
Okay, shielding will be put to the test. Okay, two things block radiation, gold and lead. They're both extremely heavy. So are they going to cover the front of this thing with gold or lead? How does that fly?
Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
Okay, we must solve this challenge before we send people through this region of space, quote unquote. From this NASA engineer, an official NASA video on the NASA website. This is on YouTube, but this video is on the site also. We supposedly have sent people through this area of space before, to and from. In 69, for the first time, supposedly landing on the moon. One small step for man, one giant fraud for mankind. You know that speech there? I got the first half right, I think. And then the subsequent other launches that it went to and from. Apollo 13 with Tom Hanks, to and from. Why could they pull it off, but yet we can't pull it off yet?
The upper stage of the rocket.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, enough from this guy. Let's finish this one.
The billions of dollars that are being invested into this stuff, the manpower.
Invested into what? That's the question. That's what he doesn't get. That's what most people don't get. Invested into what stuff? He sees invested into rockets that fly up into space. I don't see that investment at all. I see it's a multi-billion dollar, if not in the trillions of dollars, investment into deceiving you. It is to deceive you. It is multi-billion, if not trillions of dollars, to deceive you. The rockets are just part of it. The end result is you.
America, yeah, that type of stuff. I just love coming out here and being able to create this stuff.
Well, and see, a lot of that, I mean, I'm glad he brought that up. A lot of that is what it is. It's the patriotic hoorah, you know, USA, USA, you know, that's what a lot of this is. That's why people, you know, how dare you question them? How dare you?
NASA for giving me this opportunity to come here and capture these images, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this photo story and the photos I was able to capture. So I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you like this, and that's it, guys. Thank you.
Okay, and I do want to say, I do appreciate what he did. He did a fantastic job. He did a very good job. His photos were spot on. His video was great. I love his sense of humor. I love his attitude. I love, you know, so much about the dude. He's really good. If you're interested in photo work, you have to see his stuff. Go to Jared Polin. On the subject of where he's at and what he thinks they're actually accomplishing, he's totally wrong. He's absolutely way off on this. He doesn't know it. He's not, I don't think he's feeding you a line on purpose. He's just believing what he grew up being taught. Same as me up until a few years ago. You know, certainly he's not in on it. You know, of course not. Absolutely. He's just a photographer that admires all this engineering and all this work they're doing. I understand that. Remember earlier when I showed you when I said pay attention to this with the rockets? Well, look at this. If you really watch the rockets, this is from Crow 777, but there's tons of other videos out there that show this kind of stuff. Rockets do not go to space. Here's this video, has 335,000 views. From 2016. There's lots of videos about this. But if you watch the rocket launch, they always go up at an angle and then curve off and go parallel with the Earth. Okay, let me fast forward a little bit. So here's one, goes parallel with the Earth. This video has other interesting things about it too. Parallel with the Earth. I mean, you can see, if you really looked into it, hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands and thousands of photos and video of this. Rockets that go up and curve sideways. Up and curve sideways, up and curve sideways, up and curve sideways. Did you know that even on, this guy has some interviews too with people where they heard a rocket explode, but it was reported on the news that, oh, it was a successful launch. It went where they thought it would, but they said it exploded out over the ocean or I think it was outside of Florida or somewhere. Did you know that there's not a single video of a rocket going straight up into space? There's never been a single one video, uncut, unedited, no splices, no cuts, a single video of a rocket taking off, flying straight up and out of sight. There's never been a single video of that. They always go up, turn, go parallel with the Earth, and go off into the distance. There's never been a single video. I challenge any of you to find a single video where a rocket goes and flies straight out into space, and we can watch it the whole way. No cuts, no splices, no nothing. Never happened. Why is that? Isn't that strange? You could be thinking this is totally strange and totally weird, but do you find it strange there's not a single video of that? This is a spread, a 2-page spread from my book. So check this out. A series of strange events. Operation Paperclip, getting the Nazis, Nazi scientists that wound up founding NASA. Just so you know, under Operation Paperclip, the UN flag was created in 46. Operation High Jump in 46 to 47. That's Admiral Byrd along with the U.S. and other countries, explores Antarctica. Deep freeze, where they go further onto the ice, what we call Antarctica, what is actually the outer icy boundary. Sputnik is launched in 57. We have to explain what those lights are flying across the sky after all. The Van Allen radiation belt is founded in 58 by some guy named Van Allen. High altitude nuclear tests. So after they explore the icy boundary, they immediately come back and start shooting nuclear missiles straight up into the sky. And then right after that, NASA's founded. And then there's the Antarctic Treaty. That means, hang on, let me do this. Under the Antarctic Treaty, you are not allowed to go explore Antarctica. You can go to a few designated places, but I don't care how much money you have. There are countless hurdles in your way where you cannot willy-nilly go to Antarctica. Doesn't matter how much money you got. If you're not in the know or part of some elite that is somehow able to go, which is probably extremely few, which you're not one of them, you can't go. You can argue all you want, but there's lots of videos about this. There is way too many hurdles. Doesn't matter how much money you got. You cannot willy-nilly go to Antarctica. Impossible. Why is that? That's from this book right here. Where Are We? Earth According to the Bible. On pages 256 and 257. A series of strange events that completely makes sense when you tie all these events with what the Bible actually says about Earth. Makes complete sense. If you believe you're on some spinning ball flying through space, this makes no sense. Do we trust NASA because the scientists wear white lab coats and seem all innocent? Or what is it? But look at this video here. NASA, Nazis, and the Occult. I just put this up a few days ago. It's a video of a talk that Jared Polin did. He did such good research as far as the origins of NASA and how it comes from the Nazis, because under Operation Paperclip, that's where a lot of the scientists came from. So I really encourage you guys to check out this video, NASA, Nazis, and the Occult. I'll link it in the description below also. If you really want to know the origins of NASA, here it is. You know, I do want to say I appreciate you guys for watching this. I appreciate Jared for making the video. He's unaware of these things, this side of NASA. He's very good at what he does, but he is dead wrong when it comes to what the end goal is. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And I'm Chad Taylor from WhereAreWeTheBook.com.